Hello there! Welcome in Ed 404 Personal and Professional Growth for Teachers. I would like to say good day to our instructor, Mr. JP Milancho, as well as to our classmates who are watching and listening there. Good day. And with this one, before we proceed in our topic, let me first introduce ourselves. I am Teacher Ray. I am Rachel C. Panulda, and you can call me Teacher Ray. And we have the two teachers here. We have Teacher Chen, Mr. Christian J. V. Villegas, and we have Teacher Ali, Miss Alison T. Sarong. So last time, we talked about the six essential strategies under the concept of personal and professional growth for teachers. Actually, there are 10, right? So we are going to continue the seventh strategy. Do you know what is that? All right. Let's have here an activity. The title of our activity is entitled Who Am I? So we're going to guess the picture. Okay, we have here a picture. So what can you see in the picture? Very good. They are fighting. Ah, there are mediators too. Good job. Okay, I think everyone knows it. Alright, since everyone knows it, our topic is all about dealing with conflict. So this is the seventh one. Let's find it out. Let's go. Okay, so when we say dealing with conflict in the context of personal development, it refers to the ability to manage and resolve interpersonal disagreements, disputes, or issues in a constructive and effective manner. Yeah, so dealing with conflict occurs in every situation. Everything we see there is a conflict. But as teachers, as future teachers, it is inevitable that we can encounter different conflicts, right? So, as teachers, we really have the strategy. We should have the strategies and techniques how to manage and deal with the conflicts. And with this one, we are going to tackle about the significance in dealing with conflict. We have Teacher Christian to tackle it. Teacher Christian, are you there?
Thank you so much for that, Teacher Rachel. And now, let us proceed to the discussion on the significance of conflict management, or basically being able to know and understand the significance of managing, handling, and dealing with conflicts. But before that, allow me first to present myself. I am Christian J.V. Villegas, and you can also call me Teacher Chan, one of the presenters for today's discussion regarding dealing with conflicts. So without further ado, let us formally start. So here are the three significance of conflict management, or simply being able to deal with conflicts. So first is that it preserves relationship. The reason why we are faced with conflicts is for us to be challenged to always be constructive, which means that we have to be constructive in our thinking of ways, plans, strategies, and solutions in order for us to really put a stop onto prolonged issues or prolonged conflicts to making it into shortened period of conflicts. That's why we have to really think of strategies and ways in order for us to preserve relationship with our friends, peers, and of course, and most especially to our family members. Second significance is that promotes personal growth, which means that it would be beneficial for us to really deal with conflict because why? First is that in our cognitive domain, we are always encouraged to think critically. We have to investigate first of the things that has happened in the first place before we jump into conclusions about a conflict. So we have to think critically. Second is our emotional domain, which means that when there are conflicts that we are facing, we have to always approach it with positivity, with optimism, and not negative emotions, because our negative emotions can result to negative actions. And lastly, in our psychomotor domain, or simply how the way we act must be professional, it must be appropriate and right. That is why it is important for us to really consider these things because these domains can help us to achieve and to promote our personal growth, not just as students, but as well as future educators. And lastly, for the third significance is that it enhances teamwork and collaboration because it is really amazing to work with people whom we do not have any conflicts or problems with, right? So soon we'll be deployed in our workforce, in our workplace, and it's important to really defeat conflict, defeat problems and issues for that matter in order for us to establish more connection, build relationship, and to experience more collaboration and teamwork with our colleagues because this will help us to really achieve peace and of course to always avoid disagreements or problems and conflicts for that matter.
Thank you for that, Teacher Ray and Teacher Chan. So before anything else, I'll introduce myself first. Good day, everyone. I am Alison T. Sarong, taking Bachelor of Special Needs Education, and I will be tackling the sample scenarios of conflict. The first scenario is bullying incident. Two students, A and B, are involved in a bullying incident where both of them are the targets. The conflict arises when student A courageously reports the bullying to the teacher or school administrator, and they must address the situation while ensuring the safety and well-being of all the students involved. Conflict is inevitable. Now, I want to ask you a question. As a teacher, what would you do if this will happen in your class, this bullying incident? I'll give you a couple of seconds to think of a solution. So as a teacher, it is our responsibility to address this kind of issue effectively. The first step should involve conducting thorough investigation into the matter. It is crucial for us to gather evidence from both parties involved and any potential witnesses. Once all relevant information has been collected, it becomes clear for us teacher to take appropriate action against the bully while ensuring their safety as well. This may include disciplinary measures such as counseling sessions or even suspensions depending on the severity of the bullying incident. When faced with bullying incident involving two students as targets and one of whom courageously reports it, we educators must prioritize the safety and well-being of the individuals involved. By providing immediate support, conducting thorough investigation, and implementing appropriate disciplinary action, as well as focusing on prevention strategies, we educators can effectively address such incidents in fostering an environment conducive to learning and growth for all the students.
And now, let us proceed to the strategies on how to deal with conflict. So this is in connection to what I said about being constructive in our thinking, which means that one of the things that we have to construct in our mind is the aspect of making plans, ways, as well as solutions and strategies that we need to accomplish, that we need to do in order for us to put a stop on the conflicts that we are experiencing in life. And now, let us proceed to these strategies. For our first strategy is to, rather than avoid potentially charged with coarse content, anticipate conflict and be prepared to respond, which means that conflict is inevitable and it is unavoidable to occur wherever we go and wherever we are, because conflict is a natural part of a human's existence. That is why we are encouraged in this strategy to be anticipators, which means that it is a word we use to describe a person who knows how to anticipate things, which also means that even if the problem or the conflict or disagreements has not yet existed or have not yet been existing, let us came to think of generating plans. We must always think of possible ways, and of course, the things that we have to do. We have to strategize things even if the problem or conflicts or have not yet existed, because this can help us to be more prepared so that when the time will come that we will be facing with conflicts, we are always ready. We are always packed with strategies to really deal with conflicts. For the second strategy is all about acknowledging emotions. which means that the concept of emotional intelligence will be applied here, simply because not just being a student, but of course, being future educators, we have to understand the concept of emotional intelligence. We have to be emotionally intelligent, emotionally excellent when it comes to dealing with conflicts, wherein we have to acknowledge the emotions of the individuals that are having conflicts. We have to help them as educators because in our teaching or in our workforce in the future, we will be dealing with conflicts. And it's important to acknowledge conflicts with positive emotions, to always exert calmness, and of course, to be relaxed at all times. Because when we are going to exert our negative emotions, negative feelings to conflicts, then it will result to a translation of our negative actions. So, better acknowledge emotions and approach it with positivity. For our third strategy is to use this acronym SOAR, which means S stands for stop, O for observe, A for assess, and R for react, which means that first, we have to stop first when we are faced with conflicts. We have to pause. While we are pausing, we are also investigating and critically thinking the things that has happened. That's why the conflict has emerged in the first place. Second is to observe, which means that we are observing the conflict. While we are observing, we are also coming up with ideas, plans, and strategies that can help us to really exert in the conflict for it to be solved. Third is to assess. This means that we have to evaluate, we have to assess what plans we have made, what strategies we were able to generate for us to see if those strategies or solutions for that matter are effective or not. And lastly is to react with it, which means that after the demonstration, the assessment and evaluation of our plans and strategies to really end the conflict, we also have to react, which means that in our reaction, we also have to be intelligent. We also have to be excellent when it comes to our reacting towards the whole process of dealing with conflicts. Following this acronym SOAR, which is to stop, to observe, to assess, and to react.
Next one is focus dialogue on academic concepts rather than personal opinions. One strategy to help is to discuss school ideas instead of personal opinions. This prevents arguments and allows teachers to guide students in thinking critically. Supporting arguments with evidences and logical reasoning teaches academic skills and reduces personal tensions. Using evidence in discussion fosters respect for different ideas. Focusing on school topics creates an inclusive classroom where everyone can contribute based on their experiences. To address classroom problems, we teachers should prioritize discussing school matters over personal opinions, promoting careful and calm thinking while ensuring everyone feels valued and heard.
All right. The last strategy is to meet individually with students if necessary. After you listen, after you let them allow to reflect and also collect their papers, you have to meet them individually. You need to know more about that students. You need to talk to them privately so that you could evaluate more and critically think that their situation is valid and valued. So they can speak so that we can have a conducive learning environment wherein learners feel that they are safe, welcome, and loved in the classroom. All right, that's how we end our lesson, in which we ended with the strategies how to manage and deal with conflict. So, overall, we already learned that dealing with conflict plays an important role in the classroom setting, especially we are teachers, we really need to know about the different strategies and the significance of conflict management. So, we've learned that the significance of conflict management is that it preserves relationship, it promotes personal growth, and also it upholds collaboration and teamwork. So, as teachers, in order for you to be effective, you really need to apply and to be powerful in the classroom setting, since we are dealing different kinds of behaviors. And as teachers, we really need to create a safe space learning environment wherein every learners feel that they are safe, loved, valued, and we should welcome them with open arms and allow them that they are valued, that they can speak in the class. So that's it. Do you have any questions about this one? Okay, thank you so much, and I hope and we hope that you've learned something here in our lesson. And after this one, Teacher Chan will have an activity. Are you excited? Very good. Now, let's go.
So now, I do believe that you are now packed with learning after understanding the nature of dealing with conflict, the significance as well as the strategies of dealing with conflicts. And now, let us proceed to this exciting activity, which is the question and answer portion activity. So I will be choosing students here in this spin the wheel for us to identify if the person who will be chosen in this spin the wheel gets to answer the question, okay? So I will now be starting the spinning of the wheel. So it's Miss Ismael. So kindly please stand up. Okay, for my question for you is that for you as a future educator, why is it important to deal with conflict, or why is it important to have conflict management? Okay. Okay, thank you so much for your answer. So let us give her 5 claps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and stop. Now let us pick another student to answer the question. So I will be spinning the wheel again. So it's Miss Carol. So again, the same question. As a future educator, why is it important to deal with conflicts or simply study about dealing with conflicts or conflict management? Okay, thank you so much for your answer. So again, let us give her another 5 claps. So again, let us all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and stop. So thank you so much for your active participation and responding to the question that I have raised a while ago. So the significance of dealing with conflicts or simply dealing with conflicts is very important because it helps us to be an educator. What makes an educator a teacher, or an educator for that matter, is being able to know how to excellently know how to deal with conflicts, wherein he or she must have to consider the cognitive aspect, the emotional aspect, and the psychomotor domains and aspect that composes an individual. And especially us as teachers, we really have to be smart. We have to really be intelligent of the overall well-being that can help us grow, that can help us develop, and as well as to attain enhancement of the totality of our overall well-being, so that we will become ready and be prepared in our teaching in the future. Here are our references where we have gathered or where we have obtained our pieces of information and ideas presented a while ago during our discussion to support the ideas presented pertaining to dealing with conflicts, its nature, the significance, as well as the strategies for that matter. So to end this presentation, along with Teacher Rachel, Teacher Allison, and yours truly, from the bottom of our hearts, we would like to say thank you for your active listening and active participation for this presentation. May you always remember that what makes you unique as a teacher and as a future educator is when you know how to handle conflicts and, of course, to apply the ability and the skill of conflict management. Once again, thank you, God bless, and have a pleasant day ahead.